Don't bend it. All right, this is the valve, or this is the module, as you can very well see. It's got two holes, one on the A and one on the R, and the module goes just like this, the nose cone first. So after I get all this out, clean it out with carburetor cleaner or cleaning solution, as what you would prefer. Make sure I don't have any buildup on the valve rod. Flush out the inside of the gun block, as well as going back and flushing these out. Blow everything out with the air. Make sure all the residue is gone. Then I got me a pin vise with a 39 thousandths drill bit that I'll check the module, make sure that my ports holes is open. And if you'll notice that I've only got my drill bit just so far out. All I'm doing is making sure that the drill bit goes just to the center where you can actually see it to the inside of the module where the valve rod goes. I don't like sticking the drill bit all the way through. I run into an issue with that from time to time, to where it opens up one port larger than the other, and it don't take much. So what I do is I just do one at a time. And then once I get it through and I can see the holes clear, blow it off real good. I'll use the air hose, air blower, blow everything off, including the module. Okay? Now I'm going to put it back exactly the same way as I took it apart. The module goes into the PCD as such, with the front packing in the front. I'll push it in. It'll go all the way in as where it bottoms out. I put just a little bit of grease right around the threads right here on the back side, just a little bit. And this is after I make sure everything's clean. Everything's cleaned out on the inside of the gun block, but the air's still hooked up. Pull the trigger so it allows the valve rod to come back. So that way I'm not pushing this thing onto the tip or the valve rod and forcing it and bending the valve rod. So with the valve rod pulled back, all the obstruction is gone. Everything lines up pretty. Get this thing screwed in there with my fingers as tight as I can. With my fingers, as far as it'll go. Release the trigger. That pushes the valve rod toward, and you can actually see where it's just coming out of the front. Now the PCD body has to be extremely tight. Don't strip it, but get it tight. Probably the tightest thing on the gun. So I'm going to turn it, and you can see I've got my ricks going to the inside, and I just go a little bit at a time. And I just take my time until I get it real good and tight. Make sure it's not going to leak. All right, once I've got it tight, then I go back to my check valves and my screens. I've done cleaned these, so to speak. I've got it back together. This is the A side. I put grease around the threads. Okay? Always be sure that I take the check valve off and the screen, clean the screen, put it back together just like I took it apart, put grease around the threads. This is the A side. The A side goes on the A side. I'll screw it in. Do the same thing to the R side. My screen off. Flush it out with cleaner, blow it off, and keep it between my fingers, and always hold it up to a light and look through the screen so you can see if there's any kind of contamination. If not, then replace the screen. But since the screen's brand new, it looks good. Put it back in there, snap the module back in. You'll hear it click. I don't know if you can hear it or not. Hear it click, snap, goes in. 7/8 wrench, put grease around the threads like I said earlier. And just get them snug. You don't have to over tighten them, because it's kind of like a compressed fitting. Just snug them down until they're fairly tight. And once you get that, put your safety back on your gun, push it in all the way, and then you're ready to go for the next day.